We are live at George W. Gatlin Field for an out-of-region matchup. The Bryant Hurricanes are trying to storm in and get their season back on track after being shut out by Daphne last week. Speaking of getting back on track, Citronelle has started the season losing 3 in a row and seeking their first win of the year. Will the Hurricanes blow into town and take the win, or can Citronelle survive Cat 5 conditions and defend home field? Stick around and let's find out together. Good evening and welcome to the Mcpss High School Football Kickoff Show. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. Corey, 2 teams tonight seeking a big win.
Well, what you look at is a 7A matchup and a 5A competition. When you start talking about these 2 teams, you know, Citronelle, even though they're 0-3, Coach Barnett does an outstanding job with this Wildcat program and leading it here after a few years of service with the Wildcats. Bart Sessions, his second year of action with the Hurricane program, and he's just trying to change the culture for Alma Bryant. And even though they were able to go ahead and go on the road and get that first big win against Hopeville, field conditions were not conducive in their home field last week, and they're still happy that they're coming on the road to allow their home field a chance to dry out.
And speaking of drying out, we were down on the field earlier. Conditions look great. The field up here at Citronelle at Gatlin Field looks very well taken care of.
No question, and I think that's something to keep an eye on when you start talking about other places across the entire state of Alabama with games being moved. This game was originally scheduled for tonight, but this field here in Citronelle is second to none in the entire state of Alabama with natural playing conditions. When you see the natural grass, non-artificial turf, the drainage is superb, and even though we've been bombarded with a lot of rain the last couple of weeks in Mobile, it doesn't show here in Citronelle.
All right, what we'll show is some action tonight, so let's get to your checklist. Bryant is the visiting team. What can we see or feel from them tonight, Corey?
Well, when you start talking about Alma Bryant, money down movement, you'll hear me talking about that all night long. Bryant has to get off the field defensively on third down and force Citronelle to punt, as well as convert third downs. They also have to play clean on offense. Not a lot of penalties, and they are in the plus side from the turnover standpoint. They want to stay that way offensively. Quarterback containment. We know that Citronelle has an outstanding quarterback who 1 year ago gave this Hurricane team fits, so they want to make sure they contain him in the pocket. When you look at Citronelle, they must have premium protection for their quarterback. He's a dynamic playmaker, and we'll talk about him later on, but they have to protect their quarterback tonight. Win the turnover battle. I think that's where they have to go ahead and change their situation from a win-loss standpoint, is protecting the football and avoid early Category 5 damage. 1 week ago against Viger, they put themselves quickly behind on that scoreboard. They want to make sure that Bryant does not blow them away early here on their own home field.
That's exactly what I meant in my open about surviving Cat 5 conditions. Speaking of conditions, Corey, you know just as well as I do, they moved a couple games to Thursday last night, and it rained on them last night, and so far we haven't had any rain. So speaking of weather, let's check in with the BSN weather forecast. Take it down to the field with Kimberly Dunn.
Give me Kim.
Unfortunately, we're having some audio difficulties with Kim, but it's no problem. We'll check back in with her later. Speaking of that, let's take a look at your impact players for this ball game, Corey, because we know those are the guys on the field who are really making the plays. So for Bryant, who is your impact players for tonight?
Well, when you're talking about the Hurricanes, you definitely are talking about their quarterback, Christian Mose. He's a senior. He's number 2. As you see him, he's getting it done for them, as well as their strong safety, Kurt Carden. He's also a heavy hitter, leads them as far as tackles are concerned, and he'll be key to Carl Jackson's defense. For the Citronelle Wildcats, linebacker David Sullivan, he's only a junior, but he also leads them in tackles, and he'll be a difference maker from his inside linebacker position. And of course, I mentioned, as far as one of the things that Bryant has to do, they have to contain this quarterback, Justin Adams. This young man is electric with his feet, and we'll see him be able to get out of the pocket and has great scrambling ability.
You're right about that, Corey. Something Coach Bart Sessions told me, said the young man has really good scramble ability. Last year when they played against Citronelle, he kind of got Citronelle out of a jam a few times, keeping the plays alive, and that allowed Citronelle to get the win against Bryant last year.
I think that's huge as far as containing him and being able to make that your game plan and staying at home and containing the quarterback. That is going to be critical and something we keep an eye on very early for the Hurricanes as far as them having a strategy defensively. Their defensive coordinator, Carl Jackson, knows this as soon as he pops in the film. The head coach, Bart Sessions, knows that as well. So, again, it becomes a game of chess and not checkers when strategy is implemented. Now it's just a matter of executing that strategy tonight.
Now, we may look different. We're inside the press box tonight, our first time in the press box at Citronelle. But the one cool thing about that, Corey, we don't have to get the air horns in our ear when we're on top of the press box. You know what I'm saying?
It definitely makes you tremble anytime Citronelle has a big-time play. And with us being insulated in here, you don't have to worry about that exterior noise.
All right, we're going to try to check back in with Kim in a little bit. That's going to wrap it up for the pregame kickoff show. Headed your way, we'll have the kickoff. Bryant and Citronelle coming up. It's your MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
The Mobile County Public Schools Signature Academies program offers a variety of specialized curriculum for highly interested and motivated students. These academies provide students with choices ranging from aviation to healthcare, advanced information technology to international studies, from engineering to coastal studies. These high-quality, hands-on programs prepare students for careers readily available in Mobile County. Signature Academies program. It starts with us.
Mobile County Public Schools, the place that has it all. We have 90 schools that include rural, urban, and suburban schools of various sizes. We are also home to Alabama's first public school. We welcome you to come join our winning team. Our district is led by the 2020 Superintendent of the Year, Mr. Kressel D. Threadgill. Our teachers are leaders in their profession who are afforded numerous professional development opportunities. Our principals are collaborators and encouragers. Our schools are leading in innovation and instruction. And most importantly, our students who are learning today, leading tomorrow, are simply the best. If you want to live in a historically rich city near beautiful beaches with superb southern hospitality, we invite you to come teach with the best. Team MCPSS.
Hi, I'm Todd.
And I'm Terry, and we'd like to invite you to join us as we take a look at nature in ways that you've never seen before.
Come travel with us as we go coast to coast to uncover some of the most interesting animals
and some of the most beautiful scenery that's offered outdoors.
You can join us on our nature adventures right here on the MCPSS TV network.
My name is Harshini. I'm a junior at Davidson High School, and after graduation, I plan on pursuing a career in dermatology. Currently, I'm taking science classes such as AP Chemistry, Biology, and Human Anatomy, which will help me pursue my career. I feel as though Mobile County is preparing me for my career choice in that they provide rigorous classes that help me think further beyond just what I'm learning. I'm Harshini Cannon, a junior at Davidson High School, and I'm learning today so I can be a leader tomorrow.
Each month, more than 90 guns are reported stolen from unlocked vehicles, creating the potential of serious injury or death.
Lock it up.
Many violent acts and crimes are committed with stolen guns.
Lock it up.
According to ATF, stolen guns pose a substantial threat to public safety.
Lock it up.
Be responsible. Take time to record your handgun serial number and secure it from thieves. Lock it up.
Lock it up for me.
The Mobile County Public Schools Signature Academies program offers a variety of specialized curriculum for highly interested and motivated students. These academies provide students with choices ranging from aviation to healthcare, advanced information technology to international studies, from engineering to coastal studies. These high-quality, hands-on programs prepare students for careers readily available in Mobile County. Signature Academies program. It starts with us.
Tonight, Highway 45 comes alive for high school football. Bryant comes in trying to end a 2-game losing streak to Citronelle, while across the field, the Wildcats want to end a 3-game losing skid that they've started this season off with. A win is what they both seek, but only one team can claim it. Who will it be? We're about to find out with the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Al Whedon along with Corey LeBounty. Covering the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn. Bryant won the toss, and they've deferred to the second half, Corey. So we're going to get a look at the Citronelle offense right here off the jump.
Well, it's important that Citronelle get off to a great start, and we mentioned them not getting behind down and distance-wise, and it's going to start with playing clean special teams right here to start the contest.
Bryson Gannon to kick off for Bryant. Back to receive Austin Reed, Rivers Johnson. Also back with them as well. Added Aiden Chestang for the Wildcats, so they're dropping 3 back as we are moments away from getting started here up in Citronelle at George W. Gatlin Field. We appreciate you joining us tonight for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Kickoff taken by Reed near the 10. Up the middle he goes. There's a Bryant player down on the field. We'll check in with that. Let's take a look at that Citronelle offense. Wildcats quarterback Justin Adams is still young, but he can scramble to keep plays alive. He can throw it deep, and we'll try to hook up with wide receivers Austin Reed and Rivers Johnson. Up front, the Wildcats are anchored by 2 big fellas, 6'2" left tackle Gunnar Newbern and 6'4" right tackle Bryce Kaiser. Citronelle averages 248 pounds across their offensive line.
Aiden Davis is the injured Bryant Hurricane, according to the roster we were provided, and it'll start a delay on this game here, and you never want to see the opening kickoff start with some type of injury, but the trainers were quickly out to him to go ahead and tend to his injury.
Davis went down a bit early there, Corey. We saw him on the field as the ball was being run back by Reed. He went down early, so we don't know if he was tripped up by one of his own teammates or got crossed up with the Citronelle Wildcat. But they're taking a look at Davis right here off the top. Very rare to see something like this on kickoff. We're going to take an injury timeout, and we'll come back with more for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
High school students, are you looking for a way to become a better leader? Then the Junior Officers Training Corps may be what you're seeking. If you would like to develop self-reliance, learn ways to be more responsible, and improve your communication skills, you can do that and more when you register for the Junior Officers Training Corps. The JROTC program is available to all high school students in Mobile County. JROTC, we build a better you.
We're back at Gatlin Field as Davis is helped off of the field there, Corey. Had to get some of the trainers, but very, very odd to see a play like that on the kickoff to have an injury.
Non-contact injury in that situation as he was running down the field. You mentioned before the ball was even received that you saw a Bryant player down, but nonetheless, he was helped off by head coach Bart Sessions and the trainer. 1st and 10 Wildcats from their own 35.
Great field position as Justin Adams and the offense try to get going here for Citronelle. Adams rolls back, throws it off his back foot, kind of puts it up. And that is complete off the ricochet.
And it's going to be complete to Blake
Jarvis caught it off the ricochet. kind of a flailing duck there as there was some pressure on Adams.
And you look at this great replay. Adams throws it up, almost a jump ball, but the ricochet right off Reginald Chastain's hands lead to a first down of the game. Great hands and eye coordination. 1st and 10 Wildcats here. Looks like the ball will be spotted right at their own 47-yard line.
Near the midfield stripe already. Handoff across the 50, approaching and picking up the first down. Javon Adel for Citronelle puts it at about the 40-yard line of Bryant.
Adel, 5'9", 175-pound sophomore with a great carry.
Hurricanes play a 3-4 defense, but they'll switch to a 4-2-5 or a 4-3 as Jack linebacker Henry Nguyen comes up to the line. Their best defensive player is strong safety Kurt Caden. Don't let his 5'10 frame fool you. He led the team in tackles last year and is leading them now. Up front, look for Reggie Mosley. He'll be a force to deal with for the Bryant defense. Adams on the keeper, makes the handoff, weaving his way to pick up maybe 2 yards. Look like forward progress. They'll put him at the 38-yard line.
A nice stop by the Bryant defense, and when you start talking about their defense being led by defensive coordinator Carl Jackson to Mario Douglas, the free safety 5'8", 155-pound sophomore on the stop.
We saw this same matchup last year. Citronelle can kind of spread it out. One of the things that Coach Jason Barnett told me is the kids have to build confidence and consistency. That's what they've been lacking. It's been topsy-turvy so far this season. Adams trying to go out to Jarvis, incomplete. 2nd down coming up here for the Wildcats.
Great quarterback pressure by this Bryant defense, but you look at one of the things that is important is you have to keep containment, and with the great pressure you still have to have containment. It looks like there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, it's near back where Adams was scrambling. I believe this will be a hold from the vicinity of the flag there.
During the play, illegal blindside hit against the offense.
So worse than a hole, had a crackback. So that's the big 15-yarder. And that's going to place Citronelle, I believe, on their own 32-yard line.
15-yard penalty from the positive foul against Citronelle.
2nd down and close to 38 yards to go.
So 2nd and long, very long coming up here for the Wildcats. They set up the screen, trying to get Austin Reed going. He picks up maybe 1 or 2. It'll be 3rd and long coming up here for the Wildcats.
Ryan Lambert, the 5'11", 195-pound junior on the stop for this Bryant defense, and you're able to gain positive yardage, but that penalty definitely was costly there when you had a drive on Bryant's side of the field getting ready to occur, and they're going to call it 3rd and 23 here on the scoreboard.
Not too many plays in the playbook for offensive coordinator Kyle Davis, and the Wildcats have to be creative. We've seen Adams kind of scramble already with this ball game, something we talked about in the intro, that Coach Sessions remembers how he keeps plays alive. Looks like a pre-snap penalty or possibly a timeout call. Let's see what Ron Coleman's going to say here.
Timeout.
So I believe Citronelle has called timeout here at 9:02. Coach Barnett wants to discuss some things. Corey, makes a lot of sense here. They had the momentum going, and something he told us on the phone, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot early in the ball game.
Yeah, that's down and distance, which you want to stay up front of, and they were able to do that probably for the first 4 or 5 snaps.
Yeah.
And here comes that long penalty that cost them a lot of yardage.
Wiped out everything, really.
Everything that you had already gotten from a positive yardage standpoint. Now you're looking at a situation where you just want to make sure you don't turn the football over and you let your punter go ahead and live to fight another day if this Hurricane defense is able to bow up and get this third down stop. But we talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast to where money down is this down right here. Third down is critical for Bryant and getting off of the field.
Citronelle beat Bryant last year 28-17. They've met 5 times. Bryant leads the series 4-2, but they've lost 2 in a row. Adams back to throw. Cannot complete that pass to A.J. Chestang, so it'll be 4th down and long coming up. And I believe I see some laundry on the field. Penalty mark at about the 35-yard line of Citronelle.
And I believe Bart Sessions may decide to go ahead and decline this penalty because it looks like it is going to be called against Citronelle.
Low block against the offense. Fourth down.
Just as you said, smart move there. Officials tonight, Ron Coleman, James DeFalco, Sam Fairley, Carlos Fortune, Zachary Gross, Randall Hopkins, and Clarence Jose on the call tonight. Heading back to retrieve this punt, Isaiah Dixon for Bryant sets up at about his 34-yard line, and Jacob Page on to punt for Citronelle. Dixon fills it at about his 26-yard line and is pushed out of bounds. Take a look at the Bryant offense. The Hurricanes led on the field by quarterback Christian Mose. Mose is a dual threat and currently leads the team in rushing. Also carrying the ball for the Hurricanes is running back Isaiah Dixon. He just did that punt return. When Bryant passes, look for wide receiver D.D. Lambert and tight end Michael McBride to haul it in. Lambert leads the team in receiving. Up front, the offensive line averages 263 pounds and are led by Troy commit senior center Billy Gilmore.
Billy Gilmore was at media day, and this is a young man, 6'3", 280 pounds. Definitely fits the part as far as we were on the field during warm-ups.
Sure was.
He definitely looks like a big-time mauler up front, and we'll see what type of push and leadership ability he provides for the Hurricanes up front.
Speaking of a push, Corey, Bryant flagged with a hold on that return by Dixon, so that pushes them back about 10 yards on the return. So they're going to get the ball here at their own 24-yard line as we take a look at this Bryant offense. Quick handoff to Dixon as he barrels up the middle past the midfield stripe into Wildcats territory. That's going to be a first down for the Wildcats. I'm sorry, for the Hurricanes.
And that's a big-time game. Sonny Bird, the 5'10", 170 pounds senior safety, makes the touchdown-saving tackle, and tempo quickly for the Hurricanes.
Quick tempo here. Moles rolls out to his left and completes the pass near the first down marker. Nate Orr hauls it in, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see what the call is going to be here. We've had a lot of penalty flags here.
Something that you want to try to stay away from early in the game if you're both teams.
During the play, ineligible downfield.
So a 5-yard penalty against the Hurricanes. It'll be 1st and 15. They're going to spot it right at the 50-yard line in front of us, Corey.
Get a chance to see that nice paw print there of the Wildcat at midfield. And again, this immaculate turf that's being out here at War Memorial Stadium on the campus of Citronelle High School.
Hand off to Dixon.
Number 5, Dixon on the
He's tripped up for about a yard. Be second down. I'll say 14 coming up here. He picked up maybe a yard.
Braden Rivers, the 5'10", 175-pound junior inside linebacker with the stop, and Skylar Mosley is the first-year defensive coordinator for the Citronelle Wildcats. If that name sounds familiar, it should, because it's the same Skylar Mosley that played at Saraland during their first ever state championship appearance for Jeff Kelly.
Trying to set up a screen here for Orr. That took a while to develop, Corey. Maybe picked up 2 or 3. It's going to be 3rd and about 12 coming up here for the Hurricanes. Well, they're going to give him credit for a few more, so maybe 3rd and 10 coming up here for the Hurricanes.
Right, what we talked about for both of these teams, especially for Bryant. Money down, offensively and defensively here at 3rd down and 11 yards to go. You need to make sure here that you don't turn the ball over and you just make great decisions with the football.
Empty set. Mo's back there by himself. Fires one across the middle, and it is intercepted. Citronelle intercepts that ball. Braden Rivers from his Mike linebacker position, and we have our first turnover of the ball game.
And that's what you want to avoid, that 3rd down mistake. You really need to value the football as he's eyeing down who he wanted to throw it to. Great job defensively of reading the eyes of the quarterback and just falling back, and most never really ever saw him. Therefore, it led to the interception, and that's our first turnover of the contest, but it's something positive for this Wildcat Nation and these fans to get excited about.
Ball's going to be spotted at about the 49-yard line of Citronelle. Once again, great field position. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going and have those unnecessary penalties. Fake the handoff going deep. A little contact, no flags, as they were trying to connect with the receiver, Rivers Johnson. I see no laundry on the field, Corey. 2nd down.
Kurt Carden in defense for the Bryant defense, and Jason Barnett is not happy with the officials at all.
Yeah, he wanted the call.
Definitely wanted the pass interference call that was brought up. And I like the call by the offensive coordinator, Kyle Davis, going for the kill shot on 1st down.
Yeah.
And especially with the ball being right at midfield.
They're going to try to work to Rivers Johnson a lot tonight, so no surprise there. Hand off to Audell. And boy, he is wrapped up. I'm going to say no gain on that one, Corey. It's 3rd down and 10 coming up.
Reginald Mosley, 6'3", 236-pound sophomore, number 82 on your television screen, was able to come away with that tackle from his defensive end position. And now another money down. And it looks like we're going to have a stoppage of play here, as we're going to have 3rd and 9, and it's going to be our heat time.
I think this is the heat timeout at 6:09. We'll take a break and come back and bring you more action. Citronelle and Bryant, it's our MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose.
Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Corey, as you called it, money down, 3rd and 10 coming up here for the Wildcats. Toss it out to the back, out of the backfield, just picks up a couple. It's going to take Citronelle to 4th down here.
And you look at this textbook open field tackle by your strong safety, who is our impact player for the Hurricanes, Kurt Carden. He comes up and makes sure that no additional yardage were gained, and you're looking at a 4th down and close to 7 yards to go, where you're where you can flip the field and pin them deep if you decide to go ahead and punt this football away.
I think they're going to go for it, and I feel that was the call from 3rd down out of that timeout. We'll try to toss and run and get half of it with it being 4th and 6. Adams just going to keep it, goes up the middle, His momentum is stopped. A flag comes in. 2 flags come in after the play. And we'll let the officials sort it out. So, to me, no surprise there what Skylar Mosley decided to do, Corey, to Kyle Davis, offensive coordinator for Citronelle, kind of get 2 plays to get basically 9 yards.
Got a personal foul, face mask.
Well, that'll give you a first down right there, a face mask every time.
And that's one of the great reasons where you decide to go ahead and it pays dividends for you. When you do go for it on 4th down, you take an opportunity to get a penalty called on the defense, and that's exactly what happened, automatic style. Now at the own 28 of the Hurricanes, fresh set of downs for the Wildcats.
Reed and Johnson here on the near side. Adams rolls out to his left. Can't find anyone. He's just going to keep it. Picks up about 4. And I see some laundry on the field near the 30-yard line.
Not surprised that we do see another penalty, close to maybe our 5th or 6th penalty so far in the contest.
Doing the run, holding. Offense.
Holding against Citronelle, so that'll push him back 10 yards to the 39-yard line. Kind of taking that. Those are what we call momentum killers right there.
Well, when you start talking about positive yardage on 1st down being negated and you get behind the sticks, it totally changes Kyle Davis' offensive play calls. And what you want to do is make sure you don't turn the football back over on early down and distance situations, trying to get it all back in one play.
1st and 20 coming up here for the Wildcats. Al Whedon, Corley Bounty on the sidelines, Kimberly Dunn. And Citronelle has burned another timeout, their 2nd one in the 1st quarter. And Jason Barnett is livid on the sidelines as he's talking to one of the officials. We'll take a break as well. We'll be back with more action.
If you're looking for fun, fashionable, and affordable jewelry, it's here. It's Paparazzi. We have a variety of colors and styles of bracelets, rings, necklaces, and earrings for all occasions and for every event. New styles are added daily, which means you are always up to date with the latest fashion. For that genuine bling, join me, Charmaine Watson, the real jewelry lady, on Facebook Live Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. It's cute, it's fun, it's fashion, it's $5, it's Paparazzi.
What's happening in Mobile County Public Schools? Tune into Inside Education. It will give you an in-depth look at issues that affect your child right here on the Mcpss TV network. So to my calculations, Citronelle has used 2 timeouts. The scoreboard still says they have 2 remaining, Corey, but we'll find out. It's still 1st and 20 for the Wildcats. Handoff to Audell. As he barrels across the 35-yard line. Nice pickup. Cut some of that yardage down. 2nd down coming up for the Wildcats.
Ryan Lambert on the stop, but positive yardage being churned down by this offensive line, getting a great push up front, and now you're looking at 2nd down and about 15 yards to go for Citronelle.
Jarvis goes into motion. He faked the jet sweep. They toss it out to Reed, and Bryant reads that play. They're all over him. I'm going to say he took a loss on that, maybe a yard.
Great job by Dwight Malone, the big 290-pound junior nose tackle, just seeing that play was slow to develop. Went down the line from his nose tackle position, was able to create a loss on that play, and it'll bring up 3rd down, and we'll call it a good 16 yards to go now. Again, money down for this Bryant defense trying to get off the field.
You've been saying that a lot tonight, Corey. I may need you to let me borrow a couple dollars, man. Toss to Adele. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage, so they're going to be about 10 yards short. The 4th down coming up here for Citronelle.
And when you start looking at where they are located on this football field, 50-yard field goal is probably a little bit further than their kicker is comfortable making it, but we've already seen them go ahead and go for it once on 4th down and have that personal foul called, face mask called against the Hurricanes, which kept the drive alive.
Sure did.
They're going to be looking for that again, and Ron Coleman asking for a reset of the play clock.
So 4th and 8 is what Citronelle is calling it. Looks a little shorter than that to me, Corey. It looks about 4th and 7, but we'll go with 4th and 8. Adams looking to go deep across the middle. Saw some contact with one of the other receivers. Vontrell Cooper got tied up, the tight end, but no flags.
Trying to go to your tight end, and that's a good call on 4th down, just not able to pull in the pigskin, and it will be a turnover on downs, and we'll see if the Hurricanes now are able to get anything going positively coming off of that interception. Now that was a drive negated in this situation.
1st and 10 for Bryant. They get the ball again, their 2nd time touching it on the 26-yard line. Setting up a screen as they toss it out to D.D. Lambert. Lambert brought down. Let's take a look at that Citronelle defense. The Wildcats play out of a 3-4 scheme with linebacker David Sullivan rushing the edge from his stinger position. Helping him out is bandit linebacker Dalton Hillman, who will try and wrap up the Hurricanes tonight. Free safety Ben Brown is tied for 3rd on the team in tackles and will patrol the secondary for the Wildcats. Up front, Citronelle is young and small, averaging just 213 pounds. 2nd and 6 here for the Bryant Hurricanes. High snap, but Dixon gets a hold of it, and he's got some turf. He's working it past the midfield stripe, just like Bryant did with their first possession, Corey.
And you're able to see the explosiveness of Isaiah Dixon for the 2nd time in this contest, as he's able to go ahead behind his big offensive lineman Ian Crosswhite, Fisher Fountain, Billy Gilmore, Xavier Santiago, and David Maples up front, creating that hole for the running back, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do with it and gets big-time yardage for the Hurricanes.
1st and 10 for Bryant on the 45-yard line of Citronelle. Christian Mose taking his time, rolls to the left, forced out of bounds. Great defensive play by Citronelle.
And what you do is you keep containment. Gabriel Till from his outside linebacker position did a great job of not allowing Mose to get outside of the pocket and gain any additional yardage. He shrank the field, shrank that sidelines away from Mose, and now you're looking at, again, 2nd down and probably close to 18 yards to go for Bryant.
I'm surprised Mose didn't throw that one away, Corey. He was outside of the tackle box. All he had to do was get it past the line of scrimmage to avoid the grounding. But they give it back to Isaiah Dixon. Look at Dixon go into Wildcats territory once again. 3 big runs from Isaiah Dixon tonight so far.
You start looking at Benjamin Brown with another touchdown-saving tackle, but you see what Bart Sessions and offensive coordinator Austin Karcher want to do. They want to run the football to set up the pass. And, again, if you're able to dominate that line of scrimmage and get to that 2nd and 3rd level, that's exactly the positive yardage situation that Bart Sessions wants to dial up, along with his offensive coordinator and his offensive line.
1st and 10, ball on the 24-yard line of Bryant. Back to Dixon. They go up the middle, right through the A-gap. And right at the A-gap, a flag comes in, Corey, as I say it. Wow. Unbelievable.
When you only have 3 down linemen.
Doing the run. Holding. Offense.
When you have 3 down linemen and you're able to get to that 2nd level of the linebackers and corners, that means that you've gotten a hat on that 2nd level as well, and you've opened up the initial line of scrimmage. Now, how do you open it up without holding? That's something that Bryant definitely wants to stay away from.
Correct.
Getting them behind the sticks, but we've seen them, after they get behind the sticks, they're just able to give it to Isaiah Dixon, and he's able to get back to the yards to gain or to the original line of scrimmage.
1st and 17. Bryant will have to snap one before the quarter ends. Tried to set up the screen to D.D. Lambert. He releases into the flat and tipped by one of the guys in the secondary for the Wildcats. He read that all the way, Corey.
Almost threw another interception, and when you look at this great defensive play by Sonny Bird, Sonny Bird does an outstanding job again of reading the quarterback's eyes, and on that wheel route, he almost throws it into the defender's hands. Now, the back was open early, just couldn't get his feet set to get it to him in a timely manner, but almost an interception. One more play here before we end the quarter.
Hand off to Caleb Workman. Workman working it around the left edge, close to the original line of scrimmage. That's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. We are notched at 0 here at Gatlin Field. Bryant and Citronelle, it's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
If you look at the numbers, Mobile County Public Schools is making great strides. With more than 53,000 students, 7,000 employees, and 90 schools, we are consistently increasing our 4-year graduation rate and our first-class pre-K program. We continue to strive for national recognition and continue to prepare our students for the global workforce. And we do all of this with one goal in mind, to equip and empower college and career-ready graduates. Mobile County Public Schools. We're learning today, leading tomorrow.
Learner? If so, then the MCPSS Academy allows students in grades K through 12 the opportunity to work in self-paced courses at the time of day that fits their schedule, so they can earn their high school diploma by studying whatever they want, whenever they want. To learn more, call 251-221-6700 or visit mcpssvirtuallearning.com. Corey, we're at the start of the second quarter. As soon as China Powell gets the stats ready, we'll see what we learned from the first quarter. I do know this. There were a lot of penalties, Corey.
Yeah, that's the thing that you want to stay away from, and they weren't able to do so. Either team in that first quarter, not a clean first quarter of action, but we have a clean scoreboard so far as it's 0-0 here to start the second quarter of action.
Third and 12 coming up here for Bryant. They hand it off to Isaiah Dixon. He stretches it out into the red zone, but he's going to be short about 3 or 4 yards. So it's going to come up decision time here for Bart Sessions and the crew. I'm sure they're going to go for it, Corey. A bit too far out for their kicker, Bryson Gannon, to attempt a field goal here.
Well, the most positive thing that you can have here is to where you get a great route and a great completion by Mose as he's trying to go with the hard count here on 4th and right at 4.5 yardage.
And I believe Bart Sessions is called a timeout.
That's a great timeout. But great discipline by Citronelle.
That's a wise timeout right there.
Citronelle didn't jump and avoided that free first down penalty here. And
all right, we got a break. Take a look at the stats. And no surprise there, rushing yards, 95 yards. Isaiah Dixon, he's toting the rock for them. That -2 is probably going to be after China Power takes all the penalty yards off, Corey, because I think they completed 1 or 2 passes. 1 turnover, possibly could have been 2, and penalties right there, 4 for Bryant and 2 for Citronelle. One of those, both of them costly. One had a face mask and the other had a legal chop block. So 25 yards for penalties for Citronelle. But you know, looking at the stats, what does that tell you, Cora?
Well, it tells me that, again, 6 penalties in the first quarter of action is not going to make either coach happy.
Yeah.
But when you sit here and you start the second quarter of action and you're able to get into this red zone area for the first time this evening, if you're the Hurricanes, it's critical here on 4th down and 4 yards to go that you make sure, if you're offensive coordinator Austin Karcher, you bring out your best play and you tell your quarterback right here, look, don't throw the interception, throw the ball away because it'll be a turnover on downs, just don't throw the interception.
4th and 4. Christian Mose gets it to Dixon as he comes out of the backfield. He is going to be close. Let's see where they spot this at. I believe the line to gain was the 9.
And I think he's going to be right at it to where they're going to have a measurement. And a great job of bringing your running back Dixon out of the backfield. He's been the workhorse tonight, and he's been making it go for the Hurricanes, both rushing and receiving.
So we're going to get a measurement here.
We're going to get that official measurement.
It's close from our vantage point here in the press box. I will say this. This is where I probably would like to be on top of the press box, Corey, because there's a wall right next to me. I can't lean in any farther to see.
Well, I really think that when they spot this football, his last lunge forward will give him enough positive yardage to have it, because all he needed was 4.5. And that swing pass with him going downhill and falling forward, I think that it was beyond a lateral, because the ball went forward to where if he would have dropped it, it would have been an incomplete pass anyway. And here it is, the chain gang comes across the field and are going to stretch it out, and we'll see officially what we will have. Inches.
And it is short just by inches, Corey.
It's all about the spot. I mean, you can't do anything about the spot, but a huge stop in the red zone territory by the Citronelle defense. I know defensive coordinator Skylar Mosley has to be extremely pleased with that. And now we'll see what Citronelle does right at their own 14-yard line.
Score 0-0, 1 turnover in the contest so far, an interception thrown by Christian Mose. But ball over on downs to Citronelle. That's always a good motivating start for your offense here going into the second quarter. Fake the handoff as the Wildcats toss it to Rivers Johnson, and he hustles up past the 25. I think that's enough to move the chains, possibly, and that's a first down for the Wildcats.
Nice call coming out on first down by Kyle Davis, and a great throw by Justin Adams. And you look at Rivers Johnson, the 5'9", 150-pound senior, looking the football in and getting them out of the red zone territory of their own 19, picking it up for the first.
First and 10 from the 26. Adams launches it, and it looks to be intercepted by Bryant. Tamario Douglas, but a flag was thrown near where Douglas got the interception, Cora.
And Douglas has 1 interception on the season. If this holds, he'll have 2. And I think it's going to be pass interference there as you start looking at defensively for the Hurricanes. There was a bump.
There was a bump.
Unintentionally by Elijah Anderson from his defensive back, and now Ron Coleman and the officials will talk about whether it was.
Great shot right there by our man Bruce at the 50-yard line as Matt Davis leans in to try to get a little intel there, Corey. And they're discussing it.
Against White.
So the interception will come off the board. Let's check out the replay here.
And it's just going to be unintentional contact there, but nonetheless, it was affecting the ability for him to catch it. Right there, you have the bump by Elijah Anderson.
Yeah.
And it did and was the correct call there, because you look at Rivers Johnson, if he was not bumped, he would have had a better opportunity to catch the football.
But he did have to wait on it a bit too, and I think that's what surprised Anderson bumping into him, which allowed Douglas to pick it off. So it's first and 10 at the 39-yard line after that pass interference. Pass complete to A.J. Chastain right near the 50-yard line, just past it into Bryant territory, and the sticks move again for Citronelle.
Chastain, a big 6'4", 180-pound target for his quarterback. And you start looking at where they are. This is the second time tonight that we've seen them be right at that Wildcat paw at midfield here.
Hand off to the back. All deal as he gets near the 45-yard line. Give him credit for about 3, so 2nd and 7 coming up here for Citronelle.
Ryan Lambert has been very active from his linebacker position for the Bryant Hurricane defense, and you're looking at 2nd and 7 now right at the 46-yard line of the Hurricanes. You're in a situation where you can go ahead and have success run the football, just don't want a penalty to be called right here.
Toss out once again to Adil. He picks up maybe 2 or 3. It's going to be 3rd and short coming up for the Wildcats. They are in front of the stick, so this is where you want to be at on money down, Corey.
Alexander Brown, the 5'9", 175-pound junior linebacker, makes his 6th tackle of the season. And 3rd down and 4 yards to go now. Again, Al, you want not to have drive-killing penalties here on money down, and you want to continue to make the Hurricanes stay on the field as long as possible.
They fake the toss. Adams keeps it, goes right up the gut to the 30-yard line. Great play call right there. 1st down, and the sticks move again for Citronelle.
Tamario Douglas, the free safety on the stop for the Hurricanes, but you see the versatility that we mentioned that Justin Adams does have with his feet as well as the accuracy of his arm, but it does pick up another Wildcat 1st down now at the 30-yard line of the Hurricanes.
Last time Citronelle opened the season losing 4 in a row was back in 2015. They finished that season at 2-8, something they do not want to replicate tonight. Fake the handoff. Adams keeps it on the RPO, and he climbs ahead for about 7 or 8 yards. Nice carry by Justin Adams.
Positive yardage on 1st down, but what you start to see is when you start looking at a 7 and 8 play drive, the Hurricane defense starts to get more and more tired and fatigued. And you're starting to see Adams starting to be able to break containment and gain more yardage with his own legs.
They're spotting him at the 23-yard line. 2nd and 3 coming up. The line to gain is the 20. They'll be sitting right at the red zone as Rivers Johnson comes over to talk. And I believe Jason Barnett has called a timeout. We'll take a break as well. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
There's a lot to like about Mobile County Public Schools.
What I enjoy about Mobile County School is the extra attention my teachers give us to help us learn.
Teachers are liking their access to technology, and students are liking the quality of their education.
I like the technology that's been incorporated into my education.
And since 1826, you have trusted us to prepare your child for their future, and we like that. Mobile County Public Schools. We are learning today, leading tomorrow.
We welcome you back to George Gatlin Field. Al Whedon, Corey LeBounty on the sidelines. Kimberly Dunn scores 0-0. And Corey, I finally see it. Remember I said earlier Citronelle had 1 timeout, but it was still 2 on the board. It has leaped from 2 to 0. So Citronelle is officially out of timeouts now.
Well, that's something that you'll have to definitely keep an eye on here as they try to execute down here in the red zone area. You cannot have any misinformation from the sidelines, and we'll see coming out of this timeout if it benefits the Wildcats.
They're just going to keep it. Quarterback sweep to the right. Adams needed to make it to the 20 to pick up the 1st down. And it appears as if he has enough as the ball is sitting inside of the 20 near the 19 or 18. So it's going to be 1st down for Citronelle as they are into the red zone.
And again, you start looking at Adams just eyeing his way behind his pulling offensive lineman, and great job by Matt Davis leading the way, pulling from his left guard position, and another first down for the Wildcats.
Adams picked up 6 there. Ball spotted at the 17-yard line. Jet sweep if they give it to Rivers Johnson. And he sweeps on near the 10. Nice run by Rivers Johnson, close to picking up another first down.
Look at his balance, Al. That's what's very impressive on the play. He looked like he was about to be tackled, and ultimately Ryan Lambert had the stop. But what a great job of keeping his balance with the spin move and picking up more positive yardage, which will be 2nd down and 1 yard to go.
They fake the handoff. Adams rolls out to his right. That pass is incomplete as he tried to get it out to Austin Reed right in the corner near the pylon there.
And with that incomplete pass, you're starting to look at the Hurricanes be able to go ahead and catch its breath. But right here on 3rd down and 1, again, another money down situation. This is the biggest 3rd down of the first half. And we'll see if we're going to go ahead and observe the heat timeout with 6:21 remaining.
It appears to be that way. Ron Coleman called it at 6:09 in the first quarter, and right here at 6:21. So we'll take a break as well. Citronelle driving. Uncle Mo's in the car. Let's see if they'll put it in the end zone. We'll be right back.
You've got questions? We got answers. Mcpss.com. Whether it's attendance zones, school calendar, lunch menus, or registration information that you are looking for, you can find it right here, mcpss.com. You can also get the latest news and district-wide calendar information, and it's just a click away. So when you need to know, and you need to know right now, check us out, mcpss.com.
So where for a limited time, get your Italian favorites for $6.99. Choose from the medium Firehouse meatball or Italian, but it's for a limited time only, so visit our friends Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location. Firehouse subs, enjoy more subs, and save more lives.
10th play of this Wildcat drive, and we'll see if they're able to finish it off with our first scoring opportunity of the night.
3rd and 1 coming up. Adams fakes it, keeps it, runs out of bounds near the 7-yard line. That's going to be a first down for Citronelle.
But what's critical is no penalties right there inside the red zone, and now you have a fresh set of downs. And when we watched this Citronelle Wildcat team a year ago, they definitely have some trick plays, even though they have a new offensive coordinator.
They did.
They have a great play calling sheet and a great head coach that loves to have nice plays in the red zone area late in the down and distance.
1st and goal, ball on the 6-yard line. Toss out to Adil, and he is leveled inside of the 5. It looks like Kurt Caden bringing the pop there, Corey.
And, you know, Carden definitely has the ability to be an open field tackler. And you run that tall sweep and you don't make that tackle, he's going to waltz into the end zone. And now you're looking at a fresh set of downs. So the 13th play of this drive here, 5:35 remaining, goal to go on 2nd down.
Ball being spotted at the 3-yard line. Reed and Rivers Johnson out to the right with Blake Jarvis. As Johnson goes into motion, we have flags on the play. False start against Citronelle. That's going to back them up 5 yards to the 8, so it'll be 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line coming up here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and that's a situation to where now you open back up the play sheet a little bit and you have a little bit more room for your quarterback, Justin Adams, to operate. But if you're Bryant, you must keep him contained to this pocket. You cannot let him scramble outside. You make the wide receivers come back to the football and make a play with their route running.
Back to Adil they go. He turns the edge, That's an 8-yard touchdown for Citronelle, and we have our first score of the ball game.
Great job by Bruce Smith and Bryce Kaiser, right guard and right tackle, making sure that there was no secondary or anyone else to worry about as he's able to bounce to the outside. The 5'9", 175-pound sophomore is able to score 6, and the foghorn goes off for the first time at War Memorial Stadium.
And Corey, we don't need earplugs tonight. That and the cannon went off as well. Randy Hernandez on for the extra point.
In for the PAT attempt, number 33, Randy Hernandez.
Snap the hole, the kick, and it is low under the crossbar. PAT no good, but the touchdown counts. 6-0. Citronelle is on top.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ayla, hi.
Oh, hi, Sierra. How are you?
Good, how are things?
Things couldn't be better.
What do you mean?
Well, I just started this new job as a school teacher with the Mobile County Public Schools, and it has been a life changer. Great benefits, the hours are great, and great students. Just overall, it's a great opportunity.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. Yeah. I'm going to look into that.
You should.
For more information, visit mcpss.com/job opportunities.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Al Wheaton, Corley Bounty. On the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn, and Citronelle scores first. PAT no good, up 6-0 here. I'm going to say late in the second quarter, Corey. 13 plays, 86 yards. This drive started on their 14-yard line. Bryant went for it, and Citronelle stopped them. They were just short, and it pays off with a Javon Adele 8-yard touchdown run.
Well, with that 6:02 being elapsed, that just lets me know that there were a lot of third down conversions.
Correct.
That were converted by the Citronelle Wildcat, and that's one thing that concerned Bart Sessions, being able to get off the field on money down.
I was just about to tell you this, Corey. This is the first time Citronelle has kicked off.
Have a whistle.
But we couldn't get started because we had a whistle. So Bryant calls a timeout before Hernandez could do the kickoff. We've seen some really odd things tonight, Corey. We saw an injured player go down on the kickoff. And now we've seen a timeout call before a kickoff. Pretty odd.
But the thing that you want to go ahead and try to stay away from is any special teams penalty, especially when you're already trailing 6-0. But when you're leading 6-0, if you're Citronelle, you don't want to commit any penalties that will help out the Hurricanes either.
Bart Sessions told me he feels the Hurricanes are still in the phase of learning how to win. The more playing experience the kids get, the better they will become. We know he came in with a young bunch. Some of them started as freshmen and sophomores last year for Sessions, so he's going to have a couple years with a couple of these kids here on the team. But we know they're a young bunch trying to get that experience, but most importantly, knowing when not to commit those unnecessary penalties, Corey.
Well, it's a situation to where when you do commit those unnecessary penalties, you'll definitely be getting a nice talking to at halftime. But 5-12 here in the second quarter, and us having our first score, it gives the Wildcat Nation something to be very excited about so far here on their own home field.
D.D. Lambert catches it on the hop as he works near the numbers on the Bryant sideline. And a flag comes in on the opposite side of the field on the 25. Let's see what the call is going to be here with this kickoff return.
That's something we've seen a lot of, though, Al.
Yeah,
penalty flags, maybe our 9th or 10th penalty flag of the first half. And that's something that, again, I just mentioned moments ago, both coaches are going to talk about.
We had 6 in the first quarter, 4 against Bryant, 2 against Citronelle. Let's see what this one, they're walking backwards. So
doing the return, holding, return team.
That's the second time that has occurred for Bryant when they received the kickoff. That same penalty was enforced on the kickoff.
They'll have the ball first and 10 from the
So that's going to push Bryant back to about the 12 or 13 yard line. We'll call it the 13 here at 5:04 remaining in the first half. Halftime will be coming up. Bryant brought their band up from South Mobile County, so we'll get the chance to see them along with the Citronelle Wildcats as well at halftime. So 1st and 10, it's at the 13. 87 yards away from getting points. A fumble snap as Mose fell down on it. Smart thing to do right there.
And that could have been a Category 5 mistake.
Yes, sir.
If you're not able to cover up that football, and luckily you're in the shotgun and Dixon's able to fall back on it. But now when you start taking over the football close to the 10-yard line, now it totally changes what you want to do on 2nd down and 15 yards to go.
They're spotting it at the 11, 2nd and 15. Isaiah Dixon with the carry.
Number 2, Mose on the quarterback keeper.
Correction, Mose kept that quarterback keeper. He has enough for the 1st down, it appears, Corey. I don't see any flags. I want to be sure before they move the sticks or anything. But unfortunately, my producer tells me there was a flag because the chain gang has not moved, Corey.
On that far sideline, it looks like that's where the dirty laundry is going to be dropped. And Bryant walking as if it's against Citronelle.
After the play, that ball, personal foul, late hit on the defense.
Well, that's a free 15. That'll give you a 1st down every time. So Bryant benefits with 4:24 remaining right there. Mose had enough for the 1st down, but they just tacked on 15 on top of it.
Well, when you look at where they started this drive at their own 10 and now at the 41, a nice change of events for the Hurricanes.
Mose has all the time in the world. Throws it away, could not find a receiver open. 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Hurricanes.
Great quarterback pressure. You'll definitely call that a hurry from a statistical standpoint if you're Citronelle. And now you have 2 timeouts remaining with 4:05 here to go in the first half of action.
The last time Bryant was shut out in back-to-back games was last year against Theodore and Baker. Right now they've done 5 quarters of scoreless action with that loss to Daphne last week. Carried by Isaiah Dixon, picks up about 3, so we'll call this one 3rd and 7 coming up here for the Hurricanes. And Corey, I'm going to use your term, money down right here.
It really is. David Sullivan and Garrett Sullivan tag teaming for that stop. And here we go right here. If you're Christian Mose, you want to make sure that you do not turn this football over to give Citronelle great position.
They hand it off to Dixon once again. He bounces off one of the Wildcat defenders. Close to the 1st down marker. He's a very elusive runner. Let's see where they spot it at. From my vantage point, it looks to be enough, Corey.
It is going to be enough. And they're going to move the chains, the electronic down marker on the far sidelines. But it's been the Isaiah Dixon show here in the first half.
It has.
For the Hurricanes as he's chewed up chunks of yardage, receiving and rushing.
Ironically, coming into this ball game, Christian Mose is the leading rusher for the team, but he's only carried it truly 1 time. Up the middle goes Dixon. Picks up about 5 or 6. Nice run by Dixon.
Braden Rivers comes from his linebacker position and makes that stop for the Citronelle Wildcats. And the ball now at the 44-yard line of the Wildcats, and time continuing to go down. 2:45 remaining and the 2 timeouts in the pocket of head coach Bart Sessions.
I'm with you, Corey. It looks like the 44, but they're going to round it down to the 43, 2nd and 5. They hand it off to the big back, Caden King. Give Dixon a rest. King plows forward. He's close to the 1st down marker.
King, the 5'9", 175-pound junior, with his 8th rush of the season, and it will again be money down for the Hurricanes. And we'll see if they're able to go ahead and blow their way to a first down.
Third and very short. King stays in the game. They go back to him. And he busts up the middle near the 25. First down for the Bryant Hurricanes as we're under 2 minutes and they're trying to get on the board to break this 5-quarter scoring deficiency, being shut out, Corey.
Great 13-yard run. The offensive line opening up that hole and back-to-back carries for King, giving Dixon a nice little blow, but rushing yardage has definitely been in favor of the Hurricanes so far.
Mason Collier in the slot. Back to King they go. He's met at the line by the Wildcats. Maybe gets credit for 1 or 2.
And here it is now with 2 timeouts remaining. You're battling down in distance versus what's working for you. The run game has definitely been working on this drive for Bryant. And the clock still continues to run at 1:25 left and 2 timeouts remaining.
Dixon checks back into the ball game after his brief rest. High snap, but they give it to him as he's following behind the big fellas.
Number 5, Dixon on the carry.
Looks like no gain there from my vantage point, Corey. It's going to be 3rd and long coming up here for Bryant.
And again, Rivers and Sullivan doing an outstanding job fitting their gaps and making sure that no additional yardage. And I would be interested to see, and I'm going to check it out at halftime with our statisticians, to see what kind of 3rd down percentage we've had here in this contest so far.
3rd and 7. Mo steps back, overthrows his receiver. DeAndre Nelson isn't quite that tall, Corey.
6'1", he needed to be about 6'3" to make that catch.
Does stop the clock, though.
4th down, though, and you still have those 2 timeouts remaining. You can't take them into the locker room with you.
I'm surprised Coach Sessions didn't call the timeout before that 3rd down play to discuss, okay, if we don't get it, what are we going to go with? And it looks like there's the timeout right there at 39.7 seconds remaining.
And here is your timeout that you go ahead and you discuss many things here on 4th down and 7 yards to go. You go ahead and you're definitely in your 2-minute hurry-up offense, but with that 1 timeout now remaining, if you decide to go ahead and run the football and you find that gap, I would imagine that you're going to take Christian Mose and roll him out of the pocket. They've also had success finding Dixon coming out of the backfield on some type of swing pass or wheel route. And we have not called the tight end's name tonight for the Hurricanes. So
Michael McBride, yeah.
You start looking at your H-back here, your slot. You have a lot of options if your offensive coordinator Austin Karcher, and Bart Session definitely does not want to turn the ball over on downs. He wants this drive to stay alive.
Yeah, they're in the same area they were when they turned it over to Citronelle early in the 2nd quarter when Citronelle started their drive from the 14. They've also tried to go to D.D. Lambert a time or 2. We'll see if they're going to call his number. Empty set. Dixon's out wide as well. Mose has time. Boy, he airs it into the corner outside the field of play. A little too much mustard on it, Corey.
Turnover on downs, and that's a huge stop by the defensive coordinator, Skylar Mosley. Again, seeing for the 2nd time tonight as the Hurricanes are able to get into the red zone area, not able to get on the scoreboard.
30 seconds remain here. Another stop by the Wildcats. Unfortunately, that pass just way too high and far. Falls out of the field of play, so ball over on downs at the 23. First and 10 here for the Wildcats. Adams just going to keep it on the ground. Gets just past the 30-yard line. And that looks like that may be our last play of the first half, Corey.
And it should be, and if you're the Citronelle Wildcat fans, you really need to get up and make some noise for your defense and your offense being able to come away with scores here in the second quarter on that nice 13-play drive that took up some 6 minutes.
That was huge, 86 yards. Citronelle got the stop, and they punched it in as the clock reads 0 right now, and that was huge for them to get the score. PAT was no good, but that was a big motivator for the Wildcats.
Well, anytime you're able to put that type of drive together, especially one that results in 6 points on the board, and keep that defense on the field for an extended period of time, you're going to be extremely happy as the head coach and offensive coordinator, also your offensive line, because that means you didn't have any drive-killing penalties to be able to go some 84 yards, and again, that's the difference in this game so far.
Two things I know Coach Sessions won't be happy with: giving the ball over on downs twice, and then one of them led to score. So we're going to take a break, come back with halftime. Citronelle's on top 6-0 over Bryant. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Our children with special needs deserve a place to play. That is why we are coming together to build the Miracle League of West Mobile Schmidt Family Park. It will include a special needs ball field and playground, regulation baseball and softball fields, and more. We have raised more than $1 million and construction will start soon. But we need your help to complete the project. Visit mcpss.com/Miracle League to donate and to learn more. Any dollar amount will help bring a smile to a child's face. Together, we can make a miracle.
Hello, I'm Katrina Frazier.
And I'm Deborah Robinson, and we would like to be your next realtors. As homeowners, we know how confusing it can be searching to find that perfect home that fits your needs and budget.
For that reason, it's important to have a reliable partner to represent you and to be there for every step of your home buying process. You'll find the services offered through Berkshire Hathaway, Home Services Cooper & Company Realtors are second to none.
So whether you are buying or selling your home, call us today and let our experience work for you.
If you're looking for fun, fashionable, and affordable jewelry, it's here. It's Paparazzi. We have a variety of colors and styles of bracelets, rings, necklaces, and earrings for all occasions and for every event. New styles are added daily, which means you are always up to date with the latest fashion. For that genuine bling, join me, Charmaine Watson, the real jewelry lady, on Facebook Live Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. It's cute, it's fun, it's fashion, it's $5, it's Paparazzi.
This is a program for any middle school student who's actually behind. This opportunity offers kids a chance to do 2 grades in 1 year.
If it wasn't for Star Academy, I would still be in 8th grade and probably still struggling.
We are one-on-one. We have small classrooms, and we're able to give students that personal touch, that personal attention.
I know I'm coming to see good teachers, good attitude, and also they're here to teach us what we need to learn.
High school students, are you looking for a way to become a better leader? Then the Junior Officers Training Corps may be what you're seeking. If you would like to develop self-reliance, learn ways to be more responsible, and improve your communication skills, you can do that and more when you register for the Junior Officers Training Corps. The JROTC program is available to all high school students in Mobile County. JROTC, we build a better you.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. We're going to take it down to the field and listen to the Alma Bryant Marching Band.
Hurricane to leave you feeling good. And now let's make some noise for the Hurricane Band. Here we go.
Sounds of the Alma Bryant Marching Band. So inside of the press box here with me on top of Gatlin Field, I have the one and only Kimberly Dunn. Kimberly, we're having microphone issues with you today, so we brought you up here for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge.
Yes, you couldn't hear me on the field, so I came up here with y'all, and I'm going to present this trivia challenge to you this evening.
I get to play the trivia challenge.
You get to play the trivia challenge, and I guess you get the goodie bag, too.
So this is the ultimate Corley Bounty payback for all of the Game of the Week brain busters that I've given him. Okay,
exactly. But this one shouldn't be too hard. So
do I need to character role anything, or I'm just Al? You're
just
ask me what's
Al.
my name?
You're
or?
just Al.
Okay.
But you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Al. I'm from Mobile, and
wave hey to the parents.
Hi, everyone.
All right, are you ready for our Chick-fil-A halftime trivia
I'm
question?
ready. I'm ready.
Okay, here's our question.
Okay.
So you know they just released an iPhone 14.
Girl, stop the madness.
I know, 14.
Okay.
But what year was the first iPhone released to the general public for sale?
I'm going with Corley Bounty C 2007, and I have a reason why after you tell me what the answer is.
Okay, let's do a drum roll here. Brrr, there you go.
So the reason why I know it was in 2007, I used to have a Motorola Razr. And I was at a car dealership across the bay, and I stepped away to go to a certain room in the car dealership that I won't say, and I dropped my Motorola Razr and I put it in the freezer, I put it in rice, and nothing happened. And I bought my first iPhone in the year of 2007.
I love it. That's a great story. So that will always help you remember what year it came out.
Oh, yeah. I got one right over there.
And we're already at number 14
We're
now,
at 14. I know because my daughter told me last week.
Oh, was she like, Daddy, I know what I want?
Of course. She wants iPhone 10, 11, 12,
all the new
all
ones
of them.
that come out.
She wants all the new ones.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, I'm still on 11, I think. So that's as new as I've got.
So I win, right?
Yes, you win.
I'm
Our
a winner.
Chick-fil-A prize pack. Mobile County, I think there's a fancy shirt in there, some Chick-fil-A gift cards. You said your kids like Chick-fil-A.
It's going home to the twins. They've already claimed it. They've already claimed it.
I love
wow.
it. Oh, also, while I'm up here, I wanted to give you, I was able to get an injury update at the beginning of the game. Wasn't able to convey that to you over the mic, but now that I'm here, number 37 for Alma Bryant, he said it was like he was running, and, you know, there was no impact. And he said his knee just popped. It's almost like it hyperextended backwards. He said it felt like it just went backwards, and he said it's in severe pain. He's still sitting on the table. Yes, he's supporting the Hurricane, still sitting on the table with ice on his knee. He said he doesn't think he's going to be in for the rest of this game. But hopefully that injury is nothing severe, and he'll be back next week.
Well, Kimberly, anytime you want to come up bearing gifts, we will gladly let you in the press box for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge.
Yes, I'm happy to do it. I'll bring you all the gifts you need.
All right. Well, we're going to try to get some audio so you can talk to the winning coach after the game. Let's take it down to the field and check in with the Citronelle Wildcats Marching Band.
Hear it one more time for the Citronelle Wildcat Marching Band.
Sounds of the Citronelle Wildcat Marching Band. Right now, let's check in with Mike Herndon at the Athletic Studio for an MCPSS Sports Update.
Hey guys, I'm here with another Mobile County Public Schools Sports Update, where we share with you what's happening in sports around the district. Last weekend was a big one for cross country as several local schools participated in the Challenge of Champions. Davidson's boys finished second overall out of 26 schools from throughout the Gulf Coast in the open division. Sophomore Philip Parker finished second individually with a time of 17:37:19 in the 5K race. Baker's boys finished fifth overall in the Invitational division, led by Logan Baxter, Sean Gwynn, and Cole Unger. Baker's girls placed ninth in the Invitational division, led by Lindsey Baxter's 15th place finish, and eighth in the girls' open division as Hannah Mullars placed 16th. In volleyball action this week, Rain defeated Blunt, Viger fell to Escambia County, and Mary G. Montgomery knocked off Baker. Middle school football is underway around the county. Last week, Hankins defeated Phillips 34-6, Washington topped Williamson 6-0, Alba beat Denton 14-0, Clark Shaw edged Sims 7-6, Chastang Fournier beat Mobile County Training School 26-0, Scarborough defeated Causey 14-0, Lott knocked off Leakesville, Mississippi 22-8, and Burns got past Callaway Smith 12-6. At middle school volleyball this week, Denton defeated Pillins, Hankins knocked off Alba, and Scarborough topped Burns. That's your MCPSS Sports Update. Back to you, Alan Corey.
Thank you, Mike. We do appreciate that. Corey, let's take a look at halftime statistics and look at the rushing yardage by the Bryant Hurricanes, but it does not equate into a score.
Isaiah Dixon really getting a majority of those rushing yards for Bryant, and you start talking about the -3 passing yards. That's definitely what has to be fixed due to the penalty yardage situation. 6 for 65, and that one turnover did not result in any points, but you start talking about the 140 total yards for Citronelle. Not bad at 101,
right.
But a lot of that came on the long touchdown drive that they had in the second quarter, and you start talking about being able to convert on third downs. To me, that is the difference here in the first half of play.
Money down has been big, and we know on fourth down, Citronelle has stopped Bryant twice, and one of those led to a turnover on downs, which led to that 86 yards scoring drive that Citronelle had. If we're able to get up your checklist to review that, we're not able to do that, but we're going to take a break and come back. We got about 90 seconds before the second half kickoff. There's a nice overhead view of Gatlin Field. Citronelle's on top 6-0.
In the Mobile County Public Schools, there are a few things I've come to expect. One is a quality education, and the other is a quality lunch. Not only are our school meals well-balanced, meeting all federal nutritional standards, but they also have less fat, fewer calories, and they taste really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our school lunches contain whole wheat, grains, fruits, and vegetables to give me the energy and brain power to get me through the day.
There's a lot to like about Mobile County Public Schools.
What I enjoy about Mobile County School is the extra attention my teachers give us to help us learn.
Teachers are liking their access to technology, and students are liking the quality of their education.
I like the technology that's been incorporated into my education.
And since 1826, you have trusted us to prepare your child for their future, and we like that. Mobile County Public Schools. We are learning today, leading tomorrow.
For executive producer Quentin Howard, director Wade Ford, engineer Fran Conway, I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corley Bounty. On the sidelines, Kimberly Dunn. About to start the third quarter. Citronelle on top 6-0. Just as we ended the first half, Corey, Citronelle ended another drive into the red zone for Bryant, where they could not get any points.
The lack of production in the red zone area would definitely be something that Bart Sessions will have talked to his team about, the execution and being able to finish drives, because you look at leaving points out there on the field and not being able to go ahead and convert on 3rd and 4th down and staying away from long down and distance. We'll see if the halftime speeches by the Hurricanes do work.
Well, Corey, once again, before the kick is returned, the officials have stopped play.
Surprise, surprise, that's the way we started. And as we look at my checklist, the money down movement on 3rd down to where the Hurricanes needed to convert as well as get Citronelle off the field, weren't able to do so. Playing clean on offense, yes, they've been able to have production and move and get positive yardage, just no points on the board. And quarterback containment really kind of slacked there in the 2nd quarter as they stayed on the field for a long time. And when you start talking about Citronelle, what Citronelle needed to do, protect their quarterback. They've done a good job allowing their quarterback to get pushed, winning the turnover battle so far in the 1st half, and avoiding early Category 5 damage. They have done an outstanding job of not allowing Bryant to get on the board yet.
And speaking of getting on the board, getting on the field now, Isaiah Dixon, as that ball is fielded by D.D. Lambert. Dixon wasn't on for the original kickoff, so that penalty helped him out. And D.D. Lambert's going to help him out up to the 34-yard line. Great return. Great field position coming up here for the Hurricanes.
Gabrielle Till on the stop, but that's what you want. You want a positive return, and again, you want to get some type of drive going to where you definitely move the sticks here and keep the Citronelle defense on the field. And how were they able to do that, Al? Isaiah Dixon was able to run through some big holes there in the 1st and 2nd quarters, in between the 30s really, but got bogged down in the red zone area.
1st and 10, ball on the 34. Dixon in the backfield with Christian Mose. Mose going to keep it. And 3 Wildcats tackle him for a loss. I think his forward progress will be no gain, Corey.
Robert Schwartz was the first to make contact, but he had help from 2 more Wildcats. As you'll feel that in the morning as you have close to 600 pounds of beef to land on top of you. Ice bath afterwards for sure for the quarterback.
No gain, 2nd and 10. Dixon moves over to the left. Setting up a screen for D.D. Lambert. He gets the block right there from Orr and picks up the 1st down as he goes out of bounds near the 50-yard line. And a little smack talking on the sideline over there, Cole.
Well, I like the fact that he was able to plant his foot and go ahead and get north and south on this football field. And as soon as you had 3 Wildcats in the backfield, you knew that that screen situation, like you talked about, was going to be a go. You get past that cornerback, and you're going to get positive yardage, moving the sticks. Fresh set of downs.
1st and 10, ball on the 49. This is something we've seen frequently tonight. Bryant getting into Wildcats territory as Isaiah Dixon falls past the 50, but then they'll shoot themselves in the foot, Corey, with penalties, unnecessary penalties, and go backwards. So let's see if some momentum can continue here for the Bryant Hurricanes.
Well, if you're Bryant, you want to continue to go ahead and stay ahead of the sticks here. And now you're looking at 2nd down and about 8 yards to go, right on that Wildcat paw again for the 3rd time tonight. And positive yardage here on 2nd down is what you're looking for.
I could see that from inside the press box. That's going to be a false start against Bryant. I think everyone was doing the electric slide on that one, Corey.
Into the snap. False start. Offense.
So that'll push him back 5 yards to the 46. So 2nd down at about 13 coming up here for the Bryant Hurricanes. Bryant averages 17.5 points a contest on offense. And they're giving up 27 on defense tonight, nowhere near their averages, with a big goose egg on the board. Christian Mose keeps it.
Mose on the quarterback keeper.
Gets back to inside of the 50, so we're looking at about 3rd and 8 coming up here, a long 8 for the Hurricanes. What are you dialing up here if you're Austin Karcher?
Well, I'm looking for Isaiah Dixon to go ahead and either run the ball in between the tackles or behind your big center and left guard, Fisher Fountain. And if you're not able to do that, you go ahead and you allow Mose to roll outside the pocket. If you're Citronelle, no penalties here. You want to stay clean on money down, 3rd and 8.
Mose back to pass. Rolls out. Just going to have to keep it and eat it. And the Wildcats collapse on him. Maybe a gain of 2. They're going to be short, so it'll be 4th and about 5 coming up here for the Hurricanes.
Braden Rivers on the stop, and again, great quarterback containment as the linebackers stayed home and did their job. And here it is, Bart Sessions makes the decision to go ahead and flip the field and punt the football away.
Bryant's first punt of the night, Jackson White on to punt. Stepping back to receive is Rivers Johnson near his 17-yard line. Nice punt by White. And Johnson just going to stay away from it, so it'll be 1st and 10 coming up here for the Wildcats. Citronelle averages 11.8 points on offense. They're giving up 30.8 on defense, but tonight they're pitching a shutout, up 6-0 over Bryant, and looking to secure their first win of the year, Corey.
And we do have a shutout so far by Citronelle. Theodore was able to shut out Baldwin County last night, 49-0. And here we have a 6-0 score, and Baker over Foley at halftime, 35-7.
So that is 6 quarters of scoreless action for the Hurricanes with that loss to Daphne last week. Adams with a little play action. Ball is tipped into the hands of the Bryant defender. Jordan James with the gift interception.
Well, we've seen ricochets being caught for completions by Citronelle. This ricochet goes for an interception. The first INT, as it does hit the wide receiver in his hands and pops up and takes a great bounce as you start talking about a nice interception for the defense of the Hurricanes, and that is desperately needed in this situation to inject some life into this Hurricane offense, and we'll see if Mose is able to capitalize.
That pass was intended for James Reed, tipped right into the hand of James. They're going for the kill shot. They've got a man down in the end zone and drops it. Nate Orr had the biscuit in the basket, and there was a hole in the basket, Corey.
That's what I call a pig in a blanket.
Oh, my goodness.
The pig in a blanket goes ahead and spills out, and that's a touchdown for 6. You took your kill shot as offensive coordinator Austin Karcher dials up the play, and you have to look the football in. No defenders, just the goal line in front of Nate Orr. You have to put that one behind you. 2nd and 10 as Mose is going to take it.
Corey, if you could have heard the groans of our statistician Matt Moore, head football coach at Pillins Middle School, he was in disbelief after seeing that drop, Corey.
It's one that definitely won't make your huddle film as far as a highlight, but it's just one of those things that you must look the football all the way in.
Yeah.
And there was nothing but green grass, the scoreboard, and the gate in front of him to stop him from putting 6 on the board. But a great thrown football, just have to come away with that completion.
Penalty on the play. Get the call here from Ron Coleman.
After the play, Heard the foul, late hit.
We had that call early in the first quarter. So Bryant going to benefit from the 15 yards. Going to place the ball at about the 32 of Citronelle. 1st and 10 coming up here for the Hurricanes.
And you must capitalize here. If you're the Hurricanes, you've been into this red zone area.
Right.
Getting close to the 3rd time now. And in between the 30s is where you want to make your money.
I think he's looking for Orr once again and overthrows him. D.D. Lambert was near Orr as well. 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Hurricanes. You can see the arm strength of Christian Mose right there.
And he overthrows that one by about 2 yards, as the last time he caught Orr in stride and just was not able to go ahead and make that completion, as the wide receivers were behind the defenders. And I know defensive coordinator Kyle Davis, you're looking at defensive coordinator Skylar Mosley for Citronelle, making the adjustments to make sure his defensive backs are on top of it.
Up the middle go the Hurricanes. Isaiah Dixon. 3rd down. Hurricanes going to be short by about 3 yards, maybe 4. We'll call it 3rd and 4 here, as they're playing tempo.
Hard count, trying to be drawing them off sides. And great discipline by Citronelle there for the 2nd time tonight, Al, on the hard count.
Good eye by you, Corey, as Mose trying to catch him. Fumble as they got it over to Dixon, but Mose falls on it. Going to take a loss of about 2 yards. It'll be 4th and long here for the Hurricanes. Decision time.
You go from 3rd and 4 now to 4th and 6, and there's no doubt in my mind, you go ahead and you go for this, and you go ahead and you find a way to convert, because this is the 3rd 4th down opportunity that I can recall that Bryant has had.
They swing it out to Dixon. He's got one guy to beat, and now the Wildcats collapse on him. He can't beat all of them. It will be ball over on downs. The Wildcats defense holds again.
They do a great job. Garrett Sullivan closing down on that, and that's another huge stop for this Citronelle defense. And I've said it once, I've said it twice. The 3rd time continues to be a charm, getting that 4th down stop by Skylar Mosley, the defensive coordinator.
All right, we have a heat timeout called by Ron Coleman. We're going to check in with Kimberly Dunn. I believe we may have some audio. What's going on, Kim?
Hey, I hope you can hear me now, but I'm here with Principal Campbell. He's the principal for Citronelle High School. We are so happy to be able to talk to you this evening. Thank you for taking time to be with us.
Well, we're glad you're here, and we appreciate you doing this, and it's always fun to, to do this and get it broadcast like this. It's a good day.
Yes, we always have a great time when we come to Citronelle. So can you tell us a little bit about some exciting things that are going on at your high school?
Yeah, this is another, a full face-to-face school year, and we're still recovering from COVID, but we've got a lot of great things going on. We had good results with our standardized testing last year. We had improvements across the board, and we're building on that. We've got a lot of great things going on. We got, with our Signature Academy programs and building on the successes over the last several years, and especially since COVID shut everything down. So, we're still looking to build on that and gain more partnerships, and things are good. Things are good.
Yes. So what athletically are some exciting things that are going on at Citronelle?
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of new coaches in place, and they're finding their roots here and settling in. The kids are doing a great job, with their training. We've been working on establishing year-round training programs across the board, and we're starting to see a lot of that going on, and with the personnel and the athletes that we have in place. So that's going to benefit them, and that's always good. I mean, you get bigger, faster, stronger by working out and doing that year-round.
Yeah, so not only excelling academically, but also athletically. And I know that this is also an exciting year for you because you're looking at coming to a close of a legacy that you have built on for, what'd you say, 35 years?
Yeah, I've been in the business for 35 years. I've been in Alabama for 28, and all but one of that's been as a principal. Wow. And so, you know, I'm looking forward to moving into the next chapter for me. I'm not necessarily moving away from a job that I really love. I'm moving into being a granddaddy, and that's big.
And you've been here at Citronelle for 8 years. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the growth that you've seen in your time here?
Yeah, one of the biggest things is the improvement in the facilities. I mean, there's been a total redo on everything here over the 8 years that I've been here. I've actually been in this feeder pattern for almost 20 years. Wow. And when North Mobile was built, we took that building in, and then I was a principal at Lott in my first principalship in Mobile County. So that's a long time ago, but we've seen a lot of great improvements here with our programs, with our facilities. And the community is just absolutely wonderful.
Well, a great legacy that you are just moving forward with into your family, and we thank you for all of your many years in education, and we wish you all the best of luck.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a joy.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate that, Corey. Mr. Campbell always rolls out the welcome mat for us here at Citronelle, so fine job and congratulations on moving to that grandpa stage. I love it. 1st and 10 here for the Wildcats. Rivers Johnson trying to work his way back, but he runs parallel. I think he may have gained 1 yard from all that moving.
The thing is, he did gain positive yardage. They're going to give him 2 yards.
2 yards,
on
okay.
The play, and you've got 4 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter of action, and we'll see if Citronelle's able to continue that long drive like they did in the 2nd quarter. There was a 13-play drive that elapsed 6 minutes. Here, if they're able to pick up another 1st down and keep this Hurricane defense on the field, it will be interesting to see the 2nd win of Carl Jackson's defense to come into play.
Adams hands off to it. Audill picks up maybe 1 or 2. So looking at that 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 6 coming up here for the Wildcats as we are under 4 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Al Whedon, Corley Bounty on the sidelines, Kimberly Dunn, statisticians China Powell and Matt Moore bringing you the action tonight for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. All right, Citronelle's calling it 3rd and 5, Corey. They're a bit more generous than I was, so home field advantage. Let's see what the Wildcats can do here. Austin Reed comes up the line. Little jet sweep to Rivers Johnson. He has some blockers. Crosses the 45, not enough. It'll be 4th down. Coming up, the game of the week, Brain Buster. We'll reveal that question shortly. Possibly between the quarters, but we shall see, Corey. 4th down decision time.
Reginald Mosley, 6'3", 236 sophomore, from his defensive end position, and I think this is a great call here to sending out your punting unit on 4th down, and they call it 3 on the scoreboard, and it's close to right at 3. You may try to get them to jump. If not, you flip the field.
2nd punt tonight for Jacob Page. Both of these teams have gone for it a lot on 4th down tonight. Kind of sitting in no man land. The fake is on. The fake is on. And it won't be enough. That was a direct snap to the up back.
Number 17, Elijah Owens.
We'll see here if
that was to Elijah Davis.
On that replay,
I'm sorry, Elijah Owens, Corey.
We'll be able to see clearly that the Hurricanes did an outstanding job of staying home there, and sometimes all it takes is one play off of momentum. Now, we see here that you do go ahead and snap it to the up back, just no holes, nowhere to go for him.
He plugged the holes, buddy.
A huge stop, and we'll see Christian Mose. He wound up last time on 1st down throwing an incomplete touchdown pass dropped by Nate Orr. We'll see right here at the 50-yard line or the 45-yard line whether they decide to go home run ball again.
Great field position for the Hurricanes here. Trying to set up a screen to D.D. Lambert. Wildcat misses him. Lambert scrambles ahead for about 6 yards. Second down and short coming up here for the Hurricanes as we are under 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
But you get positive yardage, and to me, you take what the defense gives you. If they give you a 7 or 8 yard cushion, you go ahead and you get the ball out quick, and that's exactly what Mose was able to do. And second down and 4.
Lambert picked up 6. They go to Isaiah Dixon. He's been running the rock for them tonight. I believe he may be just short by maybe a yard or a half yard. He's going to be close. It'll be third down, but the Hurricanes in front of the sticks.
Braden Rivers with the stop from his linebacker position, and here we are, money down. You cannot have a false start or a penalty here if you're Bryant.
Third and short, low snap, a worm burner, but Christian Mose salvages it. Is it enough for the first down? Let's see where the official's going to put his foot at on the far side there. He's close. He might be right at it, Corey.
And you look at this replay, and Mose was able to avoid disaster in scooping this up. He didn't have to fall on it, but he gets right to the sticks, and I don't know if we're going to have a measurement here by Ron Coleman on that far sideline, but
they're trying to get the chain together. It got snagged, and I think when Mose was headed that way, the chain got out the way, Corey.
Oh, you definitely want to drop it for certain, and he's going to be right at the sticks after it is determined it is going to be good enough for a first down
for the Bryant Hurricanes, so the drive stays alive at 36.1 seconds. The clock will stop. He went out of bounds and picked up the first down. Way for Mose to salvage that, because that was a very low snap.
And we've seen that happen before in their own territory for there to be a low snap. And quickly here at 1st and 10, the chains are continuing to move as
Citronelle stacked the box there. Pass complete to Nate Orr as he just kind of sat in the flat there outside of the numbers and hauls it in.
Oh, that's what you love to see. You love to see the young man come back and the quarterback to have confidence to go right back to him. The 6'2", 170-pound junior picks up another Bryant first down, and this is the type of red zone territory, Al, to where they were bogged down in the first half and weren't able to convert. And you'll hear the Wildcat Nation fans make more noise here.
First and goal, ball at the 10. Isaiah Dixon picking his holes as he picks up maybe 3 or 4. Second and goal here for Bryant. And I know Coach Sessions wants to get on the board right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's just going to be a matter of execution, as this will be the last play of the third quarter. And we'll go into the fourth quarter with the Hurricanes knocking on the door.
That's 7 scoreless quarters for the Bryant Hurricanes. They're trying to punch it in. So we've got a break right here. Let's put up our Game of the Week Brain Buster. Get the question up here, Corey, and see what we can have in store. All right, Corey, here you go. Citronelle began playing football in 1922, and they played 2 games, a 6-0 win over Grand Bay and an 82-2 loss to this school. And Corey, we brought back the multiple choice for you. A, Spring Hill, B, Murphy, C, McGill-Tulin, D, Leroy. So think about that, contemplate that for a while, and sometime in the fourth quarter, we'll reveal the answer for the Game of the Week Brain Buster. Al Whedon, Corley Bounty, Kimberly Dunn here at Gatlin Field. Citronelle's on top 6-0, but Bryant driving right now. Second and goal, ball on the 7-yard line as we'll start the fourth quarter. Corey, if you had to put it in a synopsis here, 3 quarters, how would you wrap it up?
Well, through 3, it's been the inability for the Hurricanes to score in the red zone. And will that be the story of the contest, or will that narrative change here as we begin the fourth quarter of play with the ball being spotted inside the 10-yard line?
Bart Sessions told me the other day he feels Citronelle was a couple of plays away from 3-0, so don't let their record fool you at 0-3. They're a good, tough, well-coached team, and the Hurricanes going to have to play their best to get the win tonight. And we've seen a lot of that being displayed so far by Coach Jason Barnett and his staff, a staff that he had to assemble somewhat late in the season. Some of his coaches didn't get started until school started. So it's been some growing pains for the Wildcats. 2nd and 7 here for Bryant. That pass too high for Isaiah Dixon. 3rd and goal coming up for the Hurricanes.
And that's what we've seen. Earlier we saw him go to this check down out of the backfield to Dixon, and a little bit too tall, but now when you start talking about 3rd down and goal to go, Al, this is where a difference maker in the game. The defense so far has bowed up and kept them out, but I think this is 4-down territory if you're head coach Bart Sessions.
Absolutely. I'm with you there. Mose rolls out. He has a guy in the back open, and the ball is dropped by DeAndre Nelson. He had a surefire 6 right there.
Second time we've seen a touchdown drop. You look at Mose rolling to his right in the back of the end zone, just not able again to squeeze the pigskin for whatever reason. Nobody there, but here it is. You can go back and run the same successful play because you've been able to get your wide receivers open. No one's burning a timeout here on 4th down and goal to go.
Dixon to the right of Mose. They're looking to pass on the slant. Thrown behind D.D. Lambert, and the Wildcats defense does it again. That is 3 4th down conversions. 4th down ball over on downs that Citronelle has done tonight. Here's a look through 3 quarters, Corey. 181 yards rushing for Bryant. They are running the ball consistently, but as you said, they cannot capitalize on money downs and 4th downs, as we're finding out.
Almost 100 more yards of total offense, but not being able to convert in the red zone. You spoke to me and asked the question, what's the story through 3? Well, it's continued to be the inability for the Hurricanes to strike that Category 5 force on the scoreboard and not make a dent yet, as the Citronelle Wildcats can't turn the ball over deep in their own territory.
Both teams racking up penalty yardage. Ball from the 7-yard line.
Number 29,
Adele carries it up to the 10. That gives them a little bit of breathing room. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Well, when you start talking about the least bit of resistance in regards to being able to gain every single inch is very important when you're down in your own territory, especially from a penalty situation. Staying clean and ahead of the sticks, 2nd and 7 is big time.
Adams fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it. Slithers his way up to about the 18 or 19. That should be enough for a 1st down, as the chain gang will move.
And that's exactly what you wanted, and that you received was enough to continue to keep this Hurricane defense on the field. And if you're Citronelle, you were able to march it 13 plays and elapsed 6 minutes in the 2nd quarter. You're almost in the same exact situation to where you were, and the longer you keep the Hurricanes on the field, the better it is for your offense.
You talked about that, the more that wears them down. Adams' pass is complete. A.J. Chestang hauls it in near the 30. I believe that's enough for another 1st down for Citronelle.
And what you start to do, you start to get successful now with the run and the pass. Justin Adams, you can look to him to continue to roll the pocket out and to get more comfortable and escape that pressure to decide whether he wants to keep it himself or find a receiver coming back to the football. But Citronelle in no hurry here, taking as much time as they can on the play clock.
1st and 10, ball on the 30 of Citronelle. Rivers Johnson goes in motion. They give it to him on the jet sweep. He's got Adele blocking for him. Johnson picks up about 11 or 12. Great play call right there by the Citronelle staff.
Moving the sticks once again is what's huge for them, and you're in a situation to where you are moving the sticks and continuing to have the Hurricanes on the field. And I think that a timeout, if you're able to pick up 1 or 2 more first downs to regroup defensively, should be coming up for the Hurricanes.
Ball sitting on the 43 of Citronelle. Toss it out to Adele. And he is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Possibly a loss. His forward progress may have gotten him back to the line of scrimmage.
And you look at this, one thing about the tosses, we saw it in the LSU-Florida State game.
Yes, we
back
did,
on
Corey.
Labor Day weekend. Anytime you throw that toss, you risk fumbling the football.
Right.
And you want to make sure that you hold on and you keep clean in regards to having a sustained drive without any turnovers or penalties. That's the difference in between wins and losses here in high school football, and really in any football game that you play, taking care of the football and go ahead and stay ahead of the sticks down in distance.
No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 for Citronelle. Ball at the 42. Adams just going to keep it. Reverses field. Got some room. A flag comes in from White Hat Ron Coleman.
Yeah, that's going to be an easy holding
You
call.
know what that's going to be, Corey. You're right.
Dwight Malone was held on the
Hold
play.
it. Offense.
So that'll push it back 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
And you look at Malone get into that backfield after the change of direction, and you'll see right there a handful of jersey by Clarence Rivers, and the officials were on top of it. Now you're behind down in distance, and if you are the Wildcats with the clock stopped here, you want to make sure as it's ready for play, the clock winds, that you do not turn over the football. That is the biggest thing right here with 7:55 remaining in the fourth quarter, Al, is to take as much time off the clock as you can.
Correct.
And to go ahead and make sure you don't turn it over.
And I think Coach Jason Barnett is going to burn a timeout right here to save it at 7:44 remaining in the contest. So Citronelle calls their first time out here in the second half. If we're able to get the Game of the Week brain buster up question, we can go ahead and reveal that answer for you, Corey. Fellas in the truck can make it happen. Let's see what we can do. All right, so here we go, Corey LeBounty. Citronelle began playing football in 1922, and they played 2 games, a 6-0 win over Grand Bay and an 82-2 loss to this school. Who do you think it is, Corey LeBounty?
Well, I'm going to go with either B or A, but I really think that I want to go with A.
You want to go with A? All right, let's see if Miss Diane punches it up. And Corey, you are correct. Spring Hill, as in Spring Hill College, they had a high school during that time. They stopped high school in 1935, but they lost to Spring Hill in their first year.
And I tell you, you know, sometimes part of the Mcpss television broadcast is our ability to stream, and sometimes we have people that log in and give us their 2 cents, and I took those 2 cents and put them in my pocket, and I want to thank the viewer who went ahead and helped me out a little bit there.
Corey, using your technology, not phoning a friend, but streaming a friend.
Absolutely.
I ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't mad at you. But, yes, there's your +1 and answer all in one right there. At Citronelle, not close back to the original line of scrimmage, still 3rd and long coming up here for the Wildcats. And Bryant, knowing they need to stop them, they have driven on Citronelle several times tonight, but cannot punch it into the end zone.
And now coming out of that timeout, Al, with the clock being wound for play, 2 plays ago, You regrouped. You knew what you wanted to run. The biggest thing is here on third down to not turn the ball over and be able to punt it away if you're not able to pick it up.
Burn as much time as they can. Ball overthrown to Austin Reed. That stops the clock at 6:43. And we know Ron Coleman has been quick on the draw tonight with those heat timeouts. I think he's going to let this one keep going right here. So we'll see Jacob Page for the third time tonight to punt one for the Wildcats. On their last punt, it was a fake punt that Citronelle could not convert.
But what's important now, on that incompletion, the clock did stop.
Sure did. Isaiah Dixon setting up just inside of the 40-yard line. And Dixon gonna stay away from it as it rolls near him. And Citronelle will down it at about the 27-yard line. We've seen both of these teams tonight put up long, extensive drives and use up a lot of clock. So at 6:32, it would not surprise me if this was something that Bryant would use up the clock to try to get the score and get the win. As they has been shut out 7 quarters going back to their last defeat to Daphne. I said earlier in the contest, the last time they were shut out in back-to-back games, it happened last year when they lost to Theodore and they lost to Baker. First down at 10 for Bryant. Running it once again, Isaiah Dixon. We've seen him break them open a lot tonight. And this one, he took to the house. Corey, get out your health card. He just made a house call.
Well, in that situation, you talk about an 8-play drive that did not result in any positive points on the scoreboard, but wow, one big play is the difference maker for the Hurricanes, and they finally, he had a tropical storm.
Sure did.
In the red zone area, and there is the Category 5 Hurricane hitting the scoreboard there. That is a 73-yard touchdown run by Isaiah Dixon.
Bryson Gannon on for the extra point. This one is huge. And he puts it through. Bryant takes the lead 7-6 at 6:20 remaining here in the ball game. Let's take a look at that replay right quick. Straight up the gut. We've seen him do this a lot tonight, Corey.
And he was barely touched. Great job of blocking down the field. And it was all nothing but hitting the tape and the finish line for the running back Dixon, and that will definitely put him almost at 200-plus yards. One play, 73 yards,
wow.
Only 14 seconds that it took for him to score, and just like that, the Hurricanes had been sputtering 3 or 4 times. They had gone 7 quarters without a score, and boom, just like that with the extra point, they take the lead.
Bryant has clawed and clawed and clawed and finally found themselves back into this ball game. And Corey, you're right, Citronelle hit right there with a Cat 5 disaster as Dixon explodes up the middle. We've seen him do it several times, as I said tonight, but they just couldn't get the outcome, which is a score.
And that was huge. I mean, he had been breaking into the secondary, but now we're really going to see what the Wildcats are made out of in regards to coming back after trailing for the first time tonight on the scoreboard, and it couldn't come at a better time for Bart Sessions and his offense. It's the infusion, just a nice 8-play drive. The defense comes away with a nice stop, and here it is, one play. And just like that, Al.
Just like that. That's how it can happen in the game of football. Great blocking by the offensive line, Corey. You could see Wildcats just falling backwards, being pushed down, and no flags on the play. Keep that in mind. We've had a flag fest tonight, but no flags on the play. Austin Reed Rivers Johnson and A.J. Chastain back to receive. The kick coming from Bryson Gannon. And those Hurricane fans who made the trip from South Mobile County are quite jubilant right now. Reed takes it at about the 10, comes to the near side, and he is tackled at about the 29-yard line. So at 6:12 remaining in the ball game, Citronelle is going to start this drive. But before we start, Corey, yes, there is a flag on the play.
And if it's against Citronelle, that could be critical from a field position. It's going to be an illegal chop block.
Yep, that's going to push him back right there. An inopportune time for a mental mistake to occur right there.
And as our statistician Matt Moore said, half the distance there on that kickoff. And it's one of those to where Citronelle, they have put together a 13-play drive and had an 8-play drive that stalled out after 4.5 minutes coming off of the clock. And now let's see if they're able to dial up offensively. Kyle Davis coming out and calling the right sheet music for Justin Adams, his conductor here in Citronelle, Alabama.
Well, here's the irony, Corey. The ball's on the 14-yard line. When Citronelle scored, they started that 86-yard drive on the 14-yard line. Adams keeps it, runs into a wall of Hurricane defenders, but he picks up maybe 2 on the play.
We talked about the Hurricanes finding the second win for defensive coordinator Carl Jackson, and it's amazing what one play can do and ignite your entire team in sideline, because now you becoming gassed and second win comes about for you, especially after you've had your hand on your hips for a majority of the second quarter and third quarter as well, Al. Ahead of the sticks are the Wildcats at 2nd and 8.
2-yard pickup for Adams right there. They bring Johnson in motion again, a low snap. Not the time to have that. He releases it, almost picked off by Bryant.
And it's going to be a roughing the passer.
Jordan James almost picked it off, but you're right, Corey. The flag comes in. Take a look at the replay here.
I think that is going to be called on Kurt Carden as he was in the vicinity. It's either that or holding. But we'll see what Ron Coleman talks about.
Right there, roughing the passer, automatic first down.
So as you called it, Corey, roughing the passer, that's an automatic first down for the Wildcats. That's going to get them kind of out of that hole, give them some real breathing room, but unfortunately you don't want to give them the break right there, as Bryant just did. They're going to place it at the 31-yard line.
Well, you have home field advantage, and you have the Wildcat Nation here on your sidelines and in your stands. And now on the far side of the field, let's see if they decide to roll Justin Adams to the strong side and the far sidelines here, which will be Citronelle's boundary, or they decide to keep it on the far boundary.
Adele with the carry. Gets past the 35-yard line up to about the 38. Nice carry right there by Javon Adele.
Yeah, positive yardage, though, is what you want to see, as you see the nice clean handoff, and you see him patiently waiting and bouncing to the outside on his offensive line, doing a good job of not holding there, and you bring up 2nd and 4.
I thought that was a false start. The center moved the ball, I believe, Corey.
And
that's to the snap.
What you're going to have.
False start.
He kind
offense.
of had like a hiccup almost. And I feel he thought he got away with it, and then he kind of put it back down. And then he hiked it, but they got him. So that's 5 yards. 5 yards against Citronelle. Not what you want to do there. Now 2nd and long here, about 2nd and 9 coming up for the Wildcats.
What you want to allow here, though, is Justin Adams. When you're right in the middle of the field, you allow him to go ahead and look to his left and his right, and he's going to run to that strong side, which is the right side, and the Hurricanes almost have to build a wall.
They sure do. Kept it in outside of the numbers right there. Gets near the first down marker. I believe he may be a yard short. Maybe about 2 yards short. Ball's going to be spotted at the 39.
Well, here it is. We talked about the money down for Coach Sessions and being able to have money down movement. We'll see if the defensive line is able to hold.
Rivers Johnson goes into motion on the jet sweep. They give it to him. He cuts outside the numbers, past the 50, and brought down. Now that may be a horse collar, Corey, as he was tackled outside of the boundary.
The clock does stop, and we're able to take a look at the end of this run as he bounces to the outside as the Hurricanes lose containment. And right here at the end, when you pull him down, the flag does come out.
That may be an extra 15.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15, added to the end of the run.
Boy, that's a big one. Wasn't a horse collar, but a face mask. Maybe the officials had a different angle than we did, but the outcome is still the same, Corey. 15 on top of that big run by Rivers Johnson.
Bart Sessions on the far sidelines talking to Ryan Lambert, his junior linebacker, about just playing with poise here, not giving away free yardage.
Ball on the 30-yard line. Adams gonna keep it. Has some blocking. As he gets up to about the 20, that should be enough for a first down to move the chains, and the clock is still moving, approaching 3 minutes remaining here in the contest.
That's what scares you about Justin Adams. We mentioned at the top of the telecast about his versatility with his feet, and if the offensive linemen give him that push, he's able to pick and choose his holes right at the 20-yard line. Here it is. You look at 3 minutes remaining now.
Wildcats started this drive on their own 14-yard line. Low snap. Adams has to eat it and get out of there quick. He's going to take a loss of about a yard.
And you're lucky to go ahead and scoop that. We've seen that by both teams tonight.
Sure have.
Have a couple of low snaps, but
at the most inopportune times too, Corey.
Now you're Justin Adams. You see his hand on his hips. The signal caller for offensive coordinator Kyle Davis able to go ahead and regroup, read the defense, and react to what he sees in front of him.
2nd and 11, ball on the 21. It's a low-scoring affair tonight. Another low snap. Adams recovers, tosses it to Rivers Johnson, who reverses field. A flag is thrown. 2 flags come in as Adams just tried to salvage something. We talked about that at the top of the telecast, his ability to make something out of nothing. But I don't know if he did a little bit too much on that one, Corey.
Maybe a holding as well with the late flag.
Blindside block on the offense.
And we'll see here, as with the both penalty flags in the area, another back-to-back low snap by your center, Clarence Rivers. And the crackback
right there.
It was an easy call for
they got
Ron
that
Coleman.
Unfortunately, on Austin Reed against one of the big linemen of Bryant. 2:01 remaining, pushes Citronelle back to the 50-yard line. And Corey, the line to gain is the 11.
2 timeouts remaining for Citronelle. And you're not going to get it all in this one play.
And the stands come alive as the fans are rocking. Another fumble snap. Adams releases it, throws it out to Rivers Johnson, and he hauls it in as he and the defender were fighting over the ball. Braden Lee, Rivers Johnson pulls in a big snag for the Wildcats.
There's a flag here at the line of scrimmage, looks like.
It is, Corey, as Matt Davis is pleading his case to the official. But what a grab by Rivers Johnson, and it'll be all for naught.
What a ricochet catch. And Bart Sessions, you can see in the middle of the screen with the white ball cap, talking to his defensive backs about watching the ball.
Right.
And making sure you don't let anything get behind you. As Ron Coleman makes the call.
During the play, in the other receiver downfield against the offense.
92 seconds remains in the contest, and Jason Barnett once again is livid. He's calling timeout. He wants to have a chit-chat with Mr. Coleman, I see.
And what the unfortunate part is no matter what you decide and talk to him about, you're not going to be able to change that call with that penalty flag coming out. And, you know, you look at 1:32 remaining, that would have brought down a 3rd down and probably 2 yards to go versus a 2nd down and close to 45 yards to go. A huge difference there, but Barnett is definitely going to get his money's worth out of that timeout.
And Ron Coleman just listening to him. And Coach Barnett, he's been upset earlier tonight as well. Low-scoring affair, Corey, but an interesting matchup, as we said earlier. As I said, Coach Sessions said, don't let the record fool you. 0-3 for Citronelle, because they are one tough team as well.
2nd down and 45 yards to go is what you're going to wind up having for the Citronelle Wildcats. Look at the eye concentration, the great thrown ball in one-on-one coverage against this Alma Bryant defense as the pass was caught over Braden Lee, but here it is, 2nd and 45.
And the ball on the 45-yard line of Citronelle. It is still remaining 2nd down. Justin Adams on the keeper. Runs out of bounds at about the 47 or 48. Let's see where they mark it. It's going to be 3rd and long coming up here for Citronelle. Definitely 2-down territory.
Probably close to 3rd down and 33 or 34 yards to go.
Yeah, they're marking it at the 47 of Alma Bryant.
And you're looking at 4 defensive backs for the Hurricanes.
Adams going to keep it. Can't find anyone. Fumbles. Recovers his own fumble near the 37-yard line. And I believe at this point, I think Coach Jason Barnett is going to call timeout. Corey, I've been thinking about it as well as you have. A couple people in mind for our Career Tech Education Player of the Ball game. But this game's still up in the air right now. But I got a couple candidates in my head.
Yeah, it's going to come down to this Hail Mary in this 4th down situation. If you're Bryant, you cannot commit any silly personal fouls. No late hits, anything that will give Citronelle a fresh set of downs.
Right.
And essentially, with 1 timeout remaining, if there's a turnover on downs, the game is over because Citronelle can't stop the clock.
They're out of timeouts.
But, you know, when you start looking at them not having any remaining, here's your ball game right here for the Citronelle Wildcats. And again, if you're Bryant, what you cannot afford to do is have any type of penalty that will give a hook and ladder would be great right here.
Right.
You like the hook and lateral, but also when you throw the ball, you want to make it to where it's a jump ball situation.
The line to gain is the 11, I believe. Or I believe it's the 11 or 10 to get a 1st down. So big play right here for the Wildcats. And we have a penalty on the play.
False start.
I believe so. And if that's the case, that'll push him back 5 yards.
But you look at the trips, Al, it's a jump ball situation no matter how you look at it for the wide receivers.
Now, illegal substitution on the offense.
So a legal substitution pushes them back.
Not sure who came in late.
I can't recall that either, unless they broke the huddle with 12. I didn't see anyone running on or running off.
But let's see what they have in the playbook. Can they keep the football alive by having a lateral of some type? Can they keep the ball in the middle of the field? Because a jump ball, unless it's past the sticks, do you no good.
Trip receivers to the top. A.J. Chastain at the bottom. No surprise here. Bart Session calls a timeout. Kind of almost like reminds me of basketball, Corey. Let them set up their formation, take a look at it, and then we'll call a timeout. Since we have a break, we'll talk about next week's contest. We're going to be taking it back to Ladd Peoples Stadium for another Thursday night affair as Williamson and Rain will play at Ladd. Don't forget the pregame kickoff is at 6:50 next Thursday. Williamson and Rain as we return to the legendary Ladd Peoples Stadium.
And some other scores from around the area. Saraland leading Spanish Fort 20-10. And Daphne leading Davidson 33-21. Faith Academy over BC Rain 27-0. And UMS Wright leading Gulf Shores 35-28. Baker leading Foley 42-21. Some great high school football being played tonight. And it's going to come down to this, Al, for this MCPSS television broadcast.
1 minute, 8 seconds. Fourth down for Citronelle. Adams rolls out. He's looking to heave it, trying to get it to A.J. Chastain. That was some contact. Incomplete. Ball over on down. Citronelle can't stop the clock. They are out of timeouts.
Adams pass goes incomplete.
And it looks as if Bryant is going to get the win, Corey.
Well, let's talk about
regarding no fumbles.
Let's talk about the game a year ago and how the Hurricanes weren't able to go ahead and complete the deal and seal the deal.
Correct.
Now it is 1 year later, you're able to come down on the road, and here in the fourth quarter where you had been bogged down, all of a sudden you have been churning, and Category 5 hit you all of a sudden, and now you're able to take a knee in victory formation.
Take a look at our Career Tech Education Player of the Game. We'll get it up here. And, boy, he had a great night tonight. Isaiah Dixon for the Bryant Hurricanes. He ran and ran and ran. And finally, the last one was the one that brought it home, a 73-yard touchdown, as Isaiah Dixon is our Career Tech Education Player of the ball game. And Bryant is going to get the win tonight, Corey, 7-6. And when I say it was hard fought, it was hard fought tonight for both of these teams.
It really was, and I mean, that's the type of exciting game that you wanted anytime you come out here to Citronelle between your 7A matchup with the Hurricanes and your 5A matchup with the Wildcats, and it came down to a defensive struggle, but not enough offense for Citronelle, just enough offense for the Hurricanes.
Correct. And when you say a defensive struggle, Corey, in the back of my mind, I had not ruled out. I was thinking about nominating the entire Citronelle Wildcat defense for the Career Tech Education Player of the Game. They had 3 fourth-down stops on Bryant tonight that were huge.
In the red zone area, and that's something that you have to find a positive in this loss if you're Jason Barnett, and the positive can be the way that your defense played, and it came down to a couple of more plays that the Hurricanes were able to make, and that big-time 73-yard rushing touchdown by Isaiah Dixon, and again, he wound up with over 200 yards rushing on the contest, and none more bigger than in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that one, it really, really counted. He had burst off a couple of them earlier in the ball game, but Bryant couldn't capitalize. They were shooting themselves in the foot with penalties, couldn't convert on fourth down or third down, and they just could not get points on the board. But at that time, when he went and hit the hole, but he had some great blocking from his offensive line.
And credit the offensive line, and that's what's huge. Anytime you're able to have that type of push up front, that's exactly what you have to ask for. And this offensive line of Ian Crosswhite, Fisher Fountain, Billy Gilmore, Xavier Santiago, and David Maples. Billy Gilmore, the big center, 6'3", 280-pound senior, is the one who is committing to Troy. But look at the rushing yardage, 254 rushing yards.
That's more total yards than Citronelle has.
And you start talking about the turnovers, which were kind of a push, one apiece.
Right.
But the penalty yardage was extreme tonight, but 7-6. Both teams will be happy. You look at next week, Alma Bryant at MGM and at Faith Academy back in region play for the Citronelle Wildcats.
You're right about that. We're trying to effort with Kimberly Dunn. She has the winning coach, Bart Sessions, with her right now.
Coach Sessions, congratulations on pulling off the win. How do you feel about your team's performance tonight?
I tell you what, anytime you win a one-point ball game, scoring in the fourth quarter, and then stop them right there at the end while they're taking shots in the end zone, you got to feel pretty good about it. You know, we have so much respect for Coach Barnett and for this team at Citronelle. They're going to win some ball games. They're still going to be a factor for a playoff run. They're a really tough opponent. So for our team to come up here and beat them at their field is a huge accomplishment. Could not be more proud of our assistant coaches for just staying resilient. Our players just continue to work. You know, it's a great night to be a Cane.
Yeah, so what adjustments are y'all going to make in preparation for your region game next week?
You know, just got to keep growing. You know, I mean, obviously we know Mary Montgomery is a fine opponent, and they're going to give us everything that they've got, so we got to go out and play a great game if we want to have a chance to win.
All right, well, congratulations again, Coach. I'll let you get with your team.
Thank you, Kimberly. Bryant breaks the 2-game losing streak to Citronelle with the win tonight. Next Thursday, September 15th, we're going back to Ladd Stadium. It's Williamson versus Rain. Make sure you join us for the pregame kickoff show at 6:50. Man, we appreciate you joining us tonight for this contest. For China Powell, Matt Moore, our statisticians, Kimberly Dunn on the sideline, Corley Bounty, I'm Al Wheaton. Thanking you for joining us for a great ball game tonight. Bryant comes back late in the fourth quarter to get the win, 7-6. Have yourself a great weekend.